Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I'd talk about 5 R&B licks that I use all the time. I use these on pop gigs, rock gigs. Hell, I even throw them in the occasional jazz gig when I can get away with it. But they're super useful. They're R&B licks in origin, but use them as you please. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you an extra bonus one, which I actually use quite a bit as well. Now, I know some people hate this one, but there's a reason it's a classic and it's used all the time, because it really does work. And it's the one I think of from the beginning of a Paul McCartney tune called Band on the Run. I know, it's overdone, but it's overdone for a reason, right? But the McCartney thing goes... Now, I believe it was actually Paul McCartney played guitar on there, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, what it is, if we're in the key of D, we move up to the 10th fret, which is A and a D note, and we slide up a tone. And back down. And then we do the same thing, but starting on the 9th and 10th fret, or in other words, E and A. And then the resolution, right, to the 1 chord. And if we look at what's going on there and we analyze it, it's really major pentatonic. Right? Comes from the top half of the major pentatonic. Next one. So it's a beautiful thing, right? That's the first one. Now to move it to other keys, if I want to move it to the key of A, I just start at the top of the major pentatonic. And I can play it wherever I want, however I want, but that's a good one, right? And I call that the Paul McCartney lick. Now, it's been used heaps of times. It's kind of one of those things. You'll see it all over the place. But I got it from Paul McCartney. Okay, so the next one is sort of a Jimi Hendrix thing that I actually got from the Wind Cries Mary. If you check out Jimi Hendrix's solo on Wind Cries Mary, he goes... Right? And he actually plays some variation on that. I believe he kind of got that thing from Curtis Mayfield. It sounds like a very Curtis Mayfield thing. Right? And what it is, if we break it down, let's move it to the key of A. Right? What it is, again, it's that major pentatonic thing. Right? We start with the 2nd and the 5th, and we hammer on the 3rd. And what's happening there, it's really a B and an E, and it's kind of creating this sort of sound, like a sus2 chord. You should have seen like that, right? It's just an inversion of the same thing. It's another inversion again. And then takes you to the 4 chord, right? And that's a really cool Hendrixy thing that he does a lot, is instead of going to D, like this, or like this, it's the 3rd in the bass. Right? So the D chord would be F sharp, A, D, or 9-7-7. Right? So in that case, we're going 4th and 5th fret. If I move it to the key of D, it's our G chord. And that G chord, in that instance, if I moved it to the key of D, is essentially just like a C chord. This chord. Move it back to the key of A. Right, that chord really is just, if you know the tune Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Right, it's the opening voicing from that. Right, use that one all the time. It's really cool. Stole it from Hendrix. Hey, I steal everything I do. Why not? Next one I'm going to show you, this is a Steve Cropper thing. I'm a big fan of Steve Cropper. I love Steve Cropper's playing, a really minimalist kind of player who just sort of played to the song. You know what I mean? Here's a Telecaster guy. I'm playing my Tele at the moment because the Strat's getting a refret. But he was a Tele guy, right? And, I love that about him. But if we look at the song Soul Man, I've talked about this on my channel before. But what he's doing... That's the beginning bit, right? And what he's doing there really is like it's 6, isn't it? Now in this instance, it's really like a G chord, right? The 5th fret on the D string. But if we go to the 7th fret on the G, 7th fret here, those two notes, they're a 6th apart. So taking his concept of playing 6, we can use those as R&B licks and kind of bring them into pop, rock and everything else, right? Right there I'm playing a C chord, but I'm playing the 5th and the 3rd, which happen to be a 6th apart. Right? In that case there I'm playing C, I'm playing D over C, and then D over C with an inversion. Right, but right, and I'm always looking for those ones. Those are really tasty, and that's again a very Steve Cropper-ish thing to do. Here's another one that I use a lot. This one here is a good way to get you back to the 1 chord. If we're in the key of C, right? If I start from an F6 chord, and the lick goes. It's like an F6 or D minor with the F in the bass. You could look at it many different ways, but I have the 8th fret, 7th and 7th, right? And then C over E, which is just 7, 5, 5. To be honest, I don't think about frets like that. It's so hard for me to describe it in that manner because it's just not how my thinking goes. Right? But nonetheless, so F6, C over E, D minor to C. Now, if the bass player was to follow that and move in the same kind of way as I did, that's cool. But it's even cooler if they don't. Like if the bass player has a... So that's the groove going underneath and the bass player's just kind of centering around that C note and I go... against what they're playing, and you can vary the rhythm of that. It could be, or it could be, or it could be, or there's so many different ways that lick can exist, but it's a really good one, and I use it quite a bit. Right? It's a really nice one, especially in a pop gig. Just creates this little resolution. So tension, resolution, tension, resolution. Right? I can play that up an octave, of course, and I will do. But there is something cool about it in that lower register like that. To me, it feels like it's more a part than a lick. And so that's why I like using that one. The next one. To be honest, I have no idea where I got that from. It's one of those ones that I've just played for the longest time, and so now it's become kind of part of my playing. So we have C, then we have C over E, and then we kind of go to an A minor-y thing. And then C, D minor, C, but all against the C backdrop, right? Right? You could almost look at that chord as being like a C6 to a C. So we have like a C power chord, C over E, so 7, 7, 5, 5, and then I'm hammering on the 7th fret on the D string, middle 2 strings, and then here we have like a C, It's a E and a G, so it's like middle notes of that chord, and then like a D minor, just those two notes and those two notes. Right, and here's the bonus one. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I'd give you a bonus, and the bonus one of this is kind of a variation of all of these. Right. So I have, same as the middle part of that last lick we did, is like the last lick but in reverse. Right, that's all kind of the same thing, and then we finish on this, which is F6, C over E, D minor, C. And you could finish up that with which is a variation on one of the earlier ones we did. Right, so that's kind of a combination of a couple of those, and then here I just ended it slightly differently, which is like an F sus2, F G C, or 8 7 5 5 8 5 5 to a C over E, which is 7 5 5. Or you choose, right? Hey look, I hope you found these useful. If you have, please like and subscribe. I post a couple of videos every week on here. I do some shorts, I do live streams once a week, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday. If Mondays are kind of a travel day when I'm coming back from gigs out of town or whatever. But generally I try and do them on a Monday about midday New Zealand time. Monday midday New Zealand time is Sunday for most of the rest of the world, so that seems to work out pretty good. But hey, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like and subscribe, and drop me a comment below and let me know which lick you think is your favourite. And if you don't like any of the licks, then don't say anything. Right? Because it's really dumb when people leave dumbass comments, right? You don't like something, move on. It's as simple as that. That's the way I look at it, you know? Everybody works in this space doing YouTube stuff, has to deal with the haters, and I've had my fair share of them, just as we all have. But luckily, everybody is generally pretty cool. 99.9% of people are cool, so be cool and drop a positive comment, and I'll reply to everyone, all right? Because I appreciate you. If you take the time to leave a comment to me, I'm happy to leave a comment to you. Thanks very much. All right, take care. Cheers.